Hey, I'm Casey and today we'll be discussing the allium cepa experiment. Now here's a list of a few things that you will be needing. Feel free to pause at any time to get a clearer view of what you need. First thing is, of course, to take out your onions that you have grown prior to the experiment, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut off about 1 to 2 centimeters and just put a few samples on a watch glass like that. Next, you're going to want to drop some ethanoic acid on your root tip samples and make sure all of it is covered. While you leave that for 5 minutes, it is best to start preparing your 60 degrees water bath. The next step is to prepare 5 test tubes with each 10 milliliters of hydrochloric acid in them, and put those in the water bath so that they can warm up to the temperature that we need them to be at. After 5 minutes, it is time to rinse your root tips with cold water. To do this, very carefully pour water onto the watch glass, and with another watch glass, as seen here, you slowly filter the water through. And it is important that this will be done a few other times because we need to make sure that the root tips are clean and washed. Once the root tips are washed and rinsed and dried and ready to go, you will have to put them in the test tubes of hydrochloric acid, putting around 1 or 2 samples in each test tube. Leave your root tip samples in for 10 minutes. Once 10 minutes has passed, be sure to remove all your test tubes into a test tube rack. Remove the root tip samples from the test tubes and start the washing process again, always being sure to wash a few times before drying. Now it is time to bring out your scalpel set and very carefully with your scalpel cut off only the root tip. Have a glass slide ready, and once you have removed the root tip, place it on the glass slide. Once you have a couple root tip samples on your glass slide, be sure to stain it. Here we have methyl blue stain. Place a glass slide above your root tips and very gently, with the tissue above it, crush the root tips so that the cells inside may be visible under the microscope. If the root tips are not crushed, be sure to apply a little bit more force so that your sample looks a bit like this. Place the sample under the microscope, and by using the adjustment knobs can you fully place the sample underneath the microscope itself. This is what your root tips will look like under the microscope. From this image, we can presume that the cells in this root tip are either in prophase or cytokinesis. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon.